So yeah, what do you want to share with us today?
Let's do it. I did want to demo a new feature, and I don't know when this will actually be shared, but like it's new as of today. And so I'll give a quick overview to kind of like set the stage, and then I'll show like how this new signal capture feature works because I think it's pretty
Sounds
fun.
good. Sounds good.
So the first place I wanted to start is showcasing the use case for Common Room as if we were a sales rep or marketing person. And so what Common Room does really well is pull in signal from all sorts of different places. I'm actually going to show this here. So we have the signal catalog. It's everything from your product signals from Segment or your data warehouse, website tracking signals, signal from LinkedIn and Slack. And so these are all just the places where there's buying signal happening from potential buyers that you probably want to listen to and pull into Common Room. So we aggregate. It's really easy to connect these things. A lot of them are self-serve. You just need to have permissions to like authenticate and pull data in. The first thing here is just connecting to the signals that you care about. And then when you do that, you can build out these lists here. It's almost like a prioritized burn down list of, okay, here are these signal based plays that our go to market teams can run. So here we see pricing page visits from economic buyers in the last 28 days. We have another group here of job changers who have used our product before and they're now at a new company. We have people showing surges in product usage. The list kind of goes on. You can do it both from a contact lens, like people that we want to reach out to who are showing the signals, and then also on like the third party organizations who have relevant job listings open, or organizations with a good score who have 10K mentions with AI initiatives. And so these are all just kind of like a burn down list of how someone can prioritize their day. And so from here, if I'm a rep or even a marketing person, like I can say like, oh, this is an interesting signal, but I want to actually get a little bit more granular. And so for each of these people, and let me try and find someone who I actually know here so they don't get mad at me for blowing up their spot. I could probably find someone. Oh, here we go. Katie Copez. I know Katie personally, so I don't think she'll be upset with me for sharing her. So I'm going to click preview on Katie's profile. And what you'll see here is all of the information, all of the signals and attributes that we know about Katie. So we have her phone number, her LinkedIn, we have how she's engaged with us on HubSpot, we have her product usage data here, we have her website visits. She was on the pricing page list here. So you can see like what pages she's actually viewed. And then we can see what kind of activity she's engaged with us on LinkedIn and Slack and other channels. This is kind of the identity resolution and enrichment part of the product. We do this across all the people who we've identified signal from and organizations as well. So if I click on the context setting here, we can see that there are should be like 45,000 or so people in this instance here. And if you click into any one of these people, will kind of like it show you that same kind of view. Of course, everyone's going to have different signals and different usage and all that kind of stuff. But we do this across your entire database of contacts. And some of our customers have thousands of contacts in here, and some have millions, depending on the scale of their company and like people engaging with them.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm curious. How do you weight the different type of signals? So it's just there is a view for that, or that's something that they need to do in a different window, or you treat all the signals equally.
Yeah, that's a good question. So there are certain plays that are kind of prescriptive for, say, like a ops person or maybe like a sales leader to run. They're like, I want my team running these pricing page visits from economic buyers, and then they let's say we want to add a filter here for owner, and we can say like, let's look at anyone who's in Anita's book of business. Hope there's no one for Anita. Maybe I'll do Bob here. Hopefully Bob. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to build this view for Bob, and it's going to be super prescriptive. And I'm a sales manager, or I'm a SDR manager, and I want my team running these plays. So that's one way to prioritize. The other thing that we have that you can do at like a larger scale is to score your signals off of, or over to prioritization or level of intent, or how the strength of the signal you want to score on. And it's both the action that happened and the like fit, like the firmographics and demographics of the person who is behind the signal. So we can create a score here for contact score. And then we can say fit criteria is okay. We want anyone who is, is at a company that has at least 5 million in capital raised, and we're going to add a parameter there. And if they have actually more than, 10 million in capital raised, we're going to score that signal higher because that is a better fit for our ICP. And then we can also do the same thing for behavior. So I can say URL visited is the homepage. So it'll just be like the common room homepage. I can say that that level of importance is kind of small on the level of visiting a pricing page or, engaging with a LinkedIn post or something like that. But then if they visit the pricing page, let's make that a high importance signal. And so we have this ability to be really flexible of the person setting the criteria for who's a high fit persona or high fit organization. And then also like what's the strength of the signal. And these are all adjustable, toggleable to your own use case. So you create that score and that ends up showing on each of the person or account level as well. So it's both for person and account scores that you can create and customize and do all that stuff. So you can weight it that way, or you can do it just like the very prescriptive way of like, I know this play works. Like, let's run this play. It doesn't matter what their lead score is. So from here, let's go to this like job changers from former product users cohort here, since I was on the pricing page one already. I can say, okay, as a rep or as a marketing person, I'm going to come here and take action on these signals. So I know Oleg here, so I'm going to select him, and then I'm going to send him to an outreach sequence that's particular to this specific job changer signal. So I'm going to say add him to a sequence, and I can just select that sequence, whether it's from Outreach or Apollo or SalesLoft, whatever sequencing tool you want to use. We could say change, job changes, former product user, add that person to the sequence. And so this becomes just kind of like a workbench or a single pane of glass for a rep to come in and just go through their day-to-day flow in a prescriptive way. We like to think of it as like a way to make every rep a top performer, because you can kind of like replicate the workflows of your best performing reps and just say like, okay, as a rep, come in, start here and just burn down this list. And then we've built out all the sequences and all the messaging and all that
Yep.
stuff for you.
Got it.
I can go show the new feature if that's
Please.
helpful.
Yes,
It's kind of like a
yes.
nice primer, I think. Okay, so one of the signals that we just launched is a Chrome extension, which you can pull any signal from LinkedIn. And before, this was not possible with the LinkedIn API. You'd only be able to pull in signal from your company handle, which is not all that great. So there's a lot of different use cases for this where you're looking at like a CEO of a competitor is posting something and they're getting lots of traction, but like you had that feature launched 3 months ago, or there's some thought leader in your space who's talking about things that put people in market for your product. Like you can pull in that signal from LinkedIn. So I have a post from Lizzie here, got a decent amount of reactions and likes, and so we can pull in anyone who's reacted to this post here. And to do that, you'd need to install our Chrome extension. It's actually really easy to sign up for Common Room and add that. And then we see this add post button here. So I can click on this, and what'll happen is it'll say, okay, do you want to add this post to Common Room, which will pull in all the signal from this post. And we can also create a segment, and I'm going to say it like Lizzie's hot takes. And so from here, I can add all these people to Common Room with the click of a button, and they will now be added to one of those kind of like burn down lists that I was showing earlier. This time, the directive is like, okay, we know people who have engaged with Lizzie's post here. Let's send them a personalized follow-up message. But wait, there's more. So the other thing that our Chrome extension does here, and maybe Lizzie, I'll just use you as an example. It's kind of funny you liked your own post, or someone else maybe. If there's someone else who's on here, I can use as an example.
Just choose me.
Let's pretend Lizzie is someone who interacted with this post who we want to actually reach out to. We don't actually have to do that from Common Room. We can do that straight from LinkedIn. So now I'm on Lizzie's profile. I can also click on our Chrome extension. And from here, since Lizzie is not in Common Room right now, I can say add contact. And what'll happen is that in the background, our engine for enrichment will kind of like go through its thing of doing waterfall enrichment and identifying who Lizzie is. And then also from here, we can send Lizzie an outbound email or create a LLM generated message so that we can reach out to her and send her like a direct message on LinkedIn. So I'm going to click on simple intro here. This is a bit in beta right now, so I don't know how good the message is here, but it's at least a starting point. It says, I noticed your recent post about next roles, innovative work, blah, 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 blah. Like, let me show you
Pretty
how,
good.
not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
And so the next thing that we can do also, instead of, sending that message on LinkedIn, we can add Lizzie to an outbound sequence that includes that personalized message. So I can say, add to sequence. We have this AI snippet sequence here. Actually, I created another one today, which I'll just add you to, Lizzie, if you don't mind. Chrome. And I'll say, oh, that should be coming from me, not Anita. I don't want to blow up Anita's spot. And I'll say, add you to sequence. And so this email, although I don't know if you still use this email, will be
Yep.
getting that email coming from me. That should be like fun for you to see. And then the last thing we can do is hop back over to Common Room. I can go into my segments. Go into my segments here. I should be able to see Lizzie's hot takes, the contacts who have engaged with that post. And then I can turn this into a task view and then do the same thing at scale. So I can select all these people and add them to that same sequence that we used before. And we can see if we toggle through here, there will be those AI generated snippets. I'm not going to do this because it's not in the right kind of context, but I think you get the point of like, you can pull in signal from LinkedIn. And then also add a filter. Let's say like we only want to pull in people who are economic buyers. We've defined economic buyers by director level or above. And so like, this is the group of people who interacted with your post we want to reach out to.
This is good. You really went deep into that stuff, and I love how you layered this like a basic thing and then the new feature. What I like about that is that you guys went out the direction that the most of these tools going. I think there is a lot of tools that are taking information from LinkedIn and trying to set up the sequence so that everything goes through the sequence, like Apollo. I've noticed that it's just using that. But you guys, you went other way around, right? Like you trying to have a set of actions you can take based on the information that is already on LinkedIn, create something that is custom, contact and approach the contact based on that content. And then eventually, if you want to add it to the sequence and strengthen the outbound signal to the contact, you eventually can do this in a more traditional way. I think this is a missing piece, and I don't think LinkedIn is investing enough in their own tool. They're always behind, so you have a more room to take that space and eventually provide the users with that enhancement. So I think it's a really good direction and a good feature that people should start using.
Yeah, that was one that we wanted to. We saw success on our own, and it was a very like tedious process to pull in that signal. We were dumping it into a spreadsheet, and then uploading it through a Zapier flow, and it was just very very tedious. And then even then, it broke and was not the best. And so we kind of like built our own use case, and we always got questions from customers asking if we could do this from any LinkedIn post. So we're just like, we got to build this thing. But yeah, the whole picture is just like, okay, that's one signal, but there's also product signals. There's also,
Hundreds. Yeah.
yeah, there's hundreds. Actually, have like well, maybe we could share this in the show notes. I have 100 signals that you can use or for ideation.